machine back on. Okay, it's now 10:30 and time for a bid opening with the pavement resurfacing project. We have some bids?
Yep.
Now we have a sign-in sheet that we'll be passing around.
This is for the Seneca County Road 20, County Road 36, and County Road 62 pavement resurfacing. The engineer's estimate for the project's $664,074. 664074.00. This bid is from M&B Asphalt out of Old Fort, Ohio. The bid guarantee and contract bond is included. Their total bid amount, $544,308.11. 544308.11.
At least this is where people from this year.
The next one is from Erie Blacktop out of Sandusky, Ohio. Their bid guarantee and contract bond is included. Their total bid amount, $642,019.45. 642019.45. Next one is from the Shelley Company out of Findlay, Ohio. Bid guarantee and contract bond is included. Total bid amount, $559,490.86. 559490.86. Last one is Gherkin Paving out of Napoleon, Ohio. Contract bond is included. Total bid amount is $578,684.61. 578684.61. That's all I have.
That's all the bids. Okay, thank you all very much for bidding. These bids will be at the engineer, and he will make us a recommendation that we'll act on at a later date. So, thank you again for all of you bidding. Okay, I guess we did have a couple more small items of business here. One question I had, the dog license legislation, did we pass that or did we just talk about it?
We passed the fees.
Okay.
That's the only
Yeah.
one we needed to.
We had to do that by August 31st.
Thank
you.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we just talked about it or if we actually passed it. Okay.
So that was a 3-year thing or something?
3-year tag and a lifetime tag.
Thank you.
And you had something else you wanted to bring up?
Yeah, I would, I sat on the Public Defender's Council and who oversees indigent council. I know it's a real tough
subject here. A fee was established in excess of 12 years ago. They don't know how much further back than that, but at least for the last 12 years, the fee has been that we allow indigent counsel. There's a flat fee of $40 per hour for counsel out of the courtroom, and it's $50 for in the courtroom service. This is what the lawyers get, that for those that fall within indigent counsel. And again, that's been a fee that's been there for at least 12 years, maybe further than that. And they have brought to my attention that they'll look at the other counties. They feel that they need to get a higher fee versus what was established 12 years ago. And I went ahead and I looked at Hancock, I looked at Sandusky County, looked at Wyandotte County, and I don't have the figures right in front of me now, but we are the lowest county out there for indigent counsel. And so the first thing I did is I consulted with the 4 judges in town. Those are the ones that appoint indigent counsel. So how the process works, if you're indigent and you have to go in front of the court, you plead to the court that you can't afford an attorney, so they will go ahead and appoint counsel to you, and that counsel was paid for from this funds, this $40 or $50, $40 out of court, $50 in court. And the judges mentioned that it is becoming increasingly more difficult for them to get to retain qualified counsel for these indigent counsel. And so while they understand the importance that this has on the budget and so forth and so on, because it's a fairly high budgeted item from the general fund. It's about $450,000 we spend a year on indigent counsel, and that is derived from this $40 and $50 level. And it was proposed that we would increase that to $45 and $55. So basically, it's going up. The $40 would now go to $45 an hour. The $50 in court would go up to $55. That could potentially, I can't read it. It's could potentially affect the general fund of about $53,000 a year. So it's a pretty significant amount that I wanted to bring up to my fellow commissioners and see if it could be approved. And I realize, we all are in tight budgets and so forth, but realize that these lawyers have been getting the same amount for at least the last 12 years. And we're we are lower than the surrounding counties, So when this commission proposed to me that we look at increasing that level, they were hoping for a $50, $60 level. And I just didn't see where we could possibly afford that. And after consultation with the judges, the 4 judges, they felt that they would, if we would raise it just $5, $45 to $55, that they would be better able to continue with quality counsel for these indigent people out there. So again, I bring that up to and I know it's a tough one. But we have a responsibility to the indigent, the less fortunate within Seneca County, to provide them with a quality legal system, and that comes through the Public Defender's Office and through indigent counsel. So I would like to make a proposal that that we would allow that increase to come into effect from 40 to 45, from 50 to 55.
Do you want to speak to that? Or do you want me to-
Sure, no, I can as well. After you had sent the email and requesting to find out from the other counties, I as well, in other meetings, but had a chance to speak with the prosecutor as well as Judge Rep on it. And, we are obligated to make sure that their indigent counsel is represented. We don't have a public defender. We have this indigent counsel, which.
Yeah, and we're obligated by
under-
law that we have to provide that.
Right.
That's under ORC.
Right, but it's, I guess, cheaper route than having the public defender office is using the indigent counsel. At the rates, even at the new rates, only those without any overhead cost are probably getting their, enough back to cover what they're spending on time at those rates. And I think the judges are pretty frugal in their use of those funds. You know, they don't just let everybody who asks for indigent counsel get it if they feel they have other means to have, you know, legal representation. And I think it's a minimal amount, so I can support that.
Yeah, I mean, in the private sector, a lawyer would charge $150 an hour. In the private sector, we're paying these attorneys $40 an hour. And we're proposing to raise it to $45 an hour. So they are way below what's available in the private sector. But there's a glut of attorneys out there, and there are some attorneys that are willing to work at lower fees to fill up their workload, to fill their days out. So they're willing to work at a lower rate. But as they fill their business up with higher paying business, it becomes less and less, the good attorneys, it becomes less and less likely that they'll accept those rates. So again, that's where it comes to the point of quality legal service. And
Okay,
Well, and I just feel like a 10% it's minimal after so many years of not increasing it, but I respect the fact that everyone in the county system understand that we can only do little bits of amounts, and that
yeah,
is
this
what
isn't
the
the level they
suggestion is.
wanted. They
No.
wanted 50, 60, and
Right.
I just thought that was just
Right.
unaffordable to the
Yeah.
county.
Okay. You know, sometimes when we disagree, we usually come to a point in the middle, but I couldn't disagree more on this one. A year or so ago, in order to make the county budget balance, we did some pretty hard things. The hardest of those things was going to the high deductible health insurance, which hit every one of our employees that's covered with health insurance. Every one of them took a hit on their health insurance. I realize we may not be the highest county around for reimbursing attorneys, but it's an adequate amount. And when you say we're the lowest, there are others that are the same. I believe Hancock was the same. I forget, I saw the map too. So we're the lowest, but there are others that are the same. There are much more pressing needs. We need to upgrade the sheriff. There's only so much money out there. We need to upgrade sheriff cars. We need to save money for a future courthouse. We need to maintain and fix up the buildings that we have. That all comes way before raising indigent counsel fees. And I want to say this delicately, and I don't mean any disrespect to anybody. But if you gave $40 or $50 an hour to any other county employee, they'd be thrilled. To anybody but a lawyer, that's a lot of money. And I don't mean disrespect to lawyers when I say that, but I just couldn't disagree more. I could not support this move. But that's why we got a board upgrade.
$40 and $50 an hour to a private individual is certainly a lot of money. They don't have 7 to 8 years of schooling behind them. They don't have a staff. They don't have an office. They don't have secretaries. They don't have phones. They don't have their own medical insurance they have to pay, blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on and on. Again, I just know from the private sector, if you get a lawyer for $150 an hour, you got a good deal. Yeah. So I guess where do we go in something like this? Is it we take it to a vote, or do we have to make an amendment first? I don't know how
We need a
the
resolution
whole
first.
process
There'll be a
goes.
resolution changing the amount.
Okay.
Right. As long as I have direction, we'll draft the resolution, because I know there were some details that we need to work on, but, so as soon as we get it drafted, we can vote on it. But if I have direction from at least 2 of the board, we can get it drafted for next session.
Well, it sounds like that we have some direction at this point that I would get with the prosecutor to draft up. And I appreciate your concern on it. It is certainly Commissioner Stacy's and mine. Equally, we have those concerns, and I'm fighting, as we're all fighting, to make sure that we pay our people a respectable wage, and everybody that works for the county. But there's only so much money that goes around.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't like to interrupt people.
I'm bad at that. So, I mean, it sounds to me like the direction at this point is that let's go to the prosecutor and let's bring together a resolution that we can bring to the board, and if we still feel that way, we would vote it 2-1 or, well, 2-1, one way or other.
Well, I ask you guys to think about it between now and whenever that's drawn up, because I feel strongly this is a wrong move. If we could take that same money and give 3% to every county employee, or 2%, or whatever that would be, I think that would be a much better use of county funds than this.
Understood?
Okay, anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Anything else?
Nope, nothing else.
Okay, I saw a hand up there, yes.
How about jury duty fees? Have they been changed in 12 years?
Been a long time. It's-
Because the last time I served on a jury, I was told, I can't remember what it was the day, maybe $20 or
I
something
think
like
it's $10.
10?
Is it 10?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't remember, I should say.
I believe it has increased. That they.
Has it been changed in the
I
last
believe
12
so, because I
years?
don't. Somebody was talking about that, because I was on jury duty years ago, and someone, and I was bragging, or I was telling them that they got so much more. I think I got 10 and they got 12, or whatever. And I remember making a statement a few years ago that,
They're very low. The judges would support raising them too, I'm sure.
yeah.
You could look around this count, oh, I'm sorry, I interrupt you too, I'm done.
Well, it's, a citizen is spending their time, and that's why so many people try to avoid it, because it wouldn't even pay parking or lunch or whatever, barely cover that sort of thing, and if it hasn't been changed in 12 years, I'm just asking, has it been changed in 12 years? And if it hasn't, isn't it also time to address that? And I don't think in Seneca County do we have juries every week or anything like that. I don't know how often.
Who pays for that?
We pay for that.
We pay for,
We
does
set-
that come out of the furtherance
We
of
set-
justice fund?
That comes out of general fund.
Strictly out of
We
general
set
fund.
the fees. No, we set the fees. Yeah, I'd much rather see that raised than this raised. If you could list all of the things in the county that need to be
Oh,
done, this
okay.
is about the very tail end of it. To give attorneys more money to represent indigent counsel, that just is
In your
repulsive
mind.
to me. Oh, in my mind, that's, we should not be paying these people's lawyers to begin with, and here we're gonna up it another $5. That's crazy.
Yeah, but the state mandates that we.
Yeah, I
offer
understand.
indigent
It's not the
counsel.
state, it's supposedly it's the Constitution. They read that in there somehow, but. Okay. Yeah, good point. Good point, Loretta.
Just have, I asked Tanya to draft up the financial side of the cruisers, if you want me to go ahead and do those today, that way you can get those ordered. Moving the money for, not cruisers,
Yeah. I was gonna say
Vans.
it's a Transport vans.
Yeah,
Transport vans.
Okay.
so it's just, I have a resolution for permanent appropriations into the general fund for equipment in the sheriff's line for $56,000. And then I have a resolution authorizing the purchase of two 2013 Ford E350 transport vans through the Ohio Department of Administrative Services Cooperative Purchasing Program.
Okay, and this is different than the resolution or the motion we passed a little bit ago.
Right,
Okay,
yep,
all right.
yep.
This is actually moving the money.
Yep.
Okay, is there a
Yep.
motion?
So moved.
Seconded,
Okay, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Zoller?
yes.
Commissioner Stacy?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes. Any other business? Yes.
What's happening, is anything happening with the bank? One time there was somebody looking at that, I think. Is that a dead horse, or is that,
At
Like
this
our other
point,
space available.
At this point, it's a dead issue. There was, a young lady was looking at it, and she's done some cost to put it together, and it just wasn't feasible for her. So it's dead at this point. Actually, it's deteriorating. It bothers me letting it empty there, but
well,
my preference is I don't want to change it into a county building. I want to change it into
Well, I
something that's
agree
going
with
to generate
that.
taxes.
I agree with that, but the election board, if they're looking for more room, that's a huge area.
They weren't happy with that either.
It would take a lot more renovation, and that was I know one of my concerns, I think maybe Commissioner Wagner's as well, was that if we have other space, can we make something work that we don't have a lot of renovation cost we don't make any money on the Board of Elections. It's just the services we have to provide, and, yeah. That would certainly take some renovations, that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else? Public, board, staff, newspaper? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second.
Did you? These are good.
No, I'm seconding.
We're adjourned at 10:50 then.
It's come sit over here. We don't wanna let you do that.